Hey guys, today's video is on how does death affect my state retirement benefits. So not the best topic, but it's one that we all have to go through eventually. And it's something that is important to know. It's a question that I get all the time, especially at the beginning of each year. We're going to break this video down in a couple of parts. We're going to go over how death affects an annuity buy from the state. So whether you bought the TAP or the TRS or any kind of annuity from the state, how does it affect that? We're also going to talk about how death affects your pension, whether it's before you started collecting or after you've already been collecting. And I'm going to address both Plan 2 and Plan 3, and this goes for pretty much all of the plans, TRS, PERS, CERS, LEF, you name it. So first, to start off with Plan 2. So if I'm on Plan 2, as a Plan 2 member, I'm actually paying into the state pension system. I don't have an investment portion. I'm paying 7 to 8%, depending on the system you're on, into this each year. So on Plan 2, if you were to pass away before you started collecting your pension benefits, you'd be entitled to a refund of whatever your contributions were throughout your career, plus any interest it earned. So your beneficiaries will get a check. It's going to be for a pre-tax amount, so keep that in mind. So if something happened to you before you started collecting, your named beneficiary would be able to withdraw that. Now remember, that's your contributions plus any interest earned. And then there is no pension after that. They're not getting any kind of guaranteed benefit. It's just a lump sum. Now for people on Plan 2, after you started collecting your pension, it all depends on what you decided on your time allocation, if you chose the survivorship option or not. If you chose option 1, which is the full benefit, there's no survivor on there. As soon as you pass away, that's it, the pension stops. If you chose options 2, 3, or 4, those are survivorship options, your named beneficiary is going to be entitled to some form of pension depending on what option you selected. Now for people on Plan 3, if you were to pass away before collecting your pension, then your beneficiary is only entitled to your investment component. Now this is because you put your money in there, so that money is always yours. The pension in Plan 3 is strictly funded by Washington State. You actually don't fund the pension portion at all. So when you pass away, you're actually entitled to none of it, even if you are technically vested. So your beneficiary can only get whatever you invested at the time. The money comes out pre-tax, so it's something your beneficiaries have to be aware of when they do the withdrawal as well. Now for people on Plan 3 that have already collected their pension and then were to pass away, it's the same as Plan 2. You either get, your survivor either gets a portion of your pension, depending if you chose options 2, 3, or 4 and how that math worked out. If you chose option 1, there is no survivorship benefit, the pension goes away with you. So these survivor benefits are a very important decision you have to make before you start collecting your pension. Now let's move on to the state's annuity. So the state has many different annuities and they all have the same sort of death benefit. So remember, the annuities pay out a guaranteed income for the rest of your life. And your death benefit is just whatever you put in minus what you're already taking out. So if I bought the TAP annuity, let's say I put $500,000 into the TAP annuity and a few years later I were to pass away, and by that time I've already withdrawn over $100,000 in monthly income benefits throughout that time, then I'd be entitled to the remaining portion. So $500 going in minus the $100,000 that I received throughout my lifetime leaves me with $400,000. Therefore, my beneficiary would be entitled to $400,000. The money's still pre-tax, so they have to keep that in mind as well. Now, the exception to this rule is on that annuity application, if you chose a joint payout, right? So it's you and your spouse or another named beneficiary on there, then they'd still be entitled to your monthly income. If you pass away and you have a spouse listed, they'd still be entitled to some form of payment. It's just like the way the pension works. If both of you were to pass away and there's still money left that hasn't been distributed from your original investment, then that remaining portion is paid out to any surviving beneficiaries that you have. So to kind of sum it all up, for plans 2 and 3, if you pass away before collecting your pension, you're entitled to whatever money you've invested along the way, plus any interest earned. After you've retired and collected your pension and you pass away, the buck either stops with you or your surviving spouse will continue receiving a portion of it depending on your selection. For the annuities, you're going to get whatever money you put in minus whatever you take out. If you chose a survivor benefit on the annuity plan, then they're still going to receive the payment. They're not going to have the option to take out the lump sum yet. Once both you and your spouse listed on your annuity application pass away, if there's still money left from your initial investment that hasn't been distributed to you yet, then the beneficiary would have the option to move that money out. If you have any other further questions on this topic, be sure to post in the comments below. If you guys need help getting organized for retirement, That's what we do here at Scenic Financial every day, and we specialize working with Washington State employees. So if you'd like to schedule time to talk with us, the link is in the description below. I'll see you guys next week. Remember that your future depends on what you do today.